Have you ever wondered why we put ourselves through so much struggle, so much pain, so much suffering, just to have a drop of joy at the end, and then start everything all over again? You know, I've died so many times, only to try again right after. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think that that's why I have so much fun. It's funny how we get attached to the struggle, isn't it? So that was a sick-ass intro, wasn't it? Hey guys, welcome to Calamity. I got a fucking doozy for you today. If you haven't watched the first episode, you should go back and watch it. I'll leave a link in the top right of the screen if I figure out how, because I don't really remember how to do that, and I'm gonna have to look it up. It's not gonna be the same quality as this one, because, you know, I had the old mic, not the new mic, so if you can't bear that, I'm sorry. So right after killing Wall of Flesh, we received an item called the Demon Trophy. It boosts spawn rates by 1.25. Crab used one, and I used mine, but unfortunately they don't stack. So right after that, I used my Demon Heart, and I decided that I needed some better equipment. I also got a cool jet. It's useless. At this point, you do the standard shit for every Terraria world when you get to hard mode. You go after demon altars, destroy them, then you go look for ore that it spawns. But I wanted something greater. I wanted to be more powerful. I wanted to upgrade the God Weapon, the one and only. Bro, honestly? What the fuck? The knife explodes into a billion different knives and they all have homing. This is one of my favorite weapons at the spawn of the game. It's fucking insane, dude. This is exactly the type of weapon I like. The kind that you spam and it goes everywhere. No aiming needed. It's also the weapon I used to fight the first hard mode boss of the journey. My strategy for Cryogen was to use the Lionfish to stack some dots, and switch back to the Prismaline and spam the fuck out of it. I also tried using the Spear Paleolith. I'm not sure if I'm using this weapon wrong because I've heard it's a good one, but I think the Prismaline is just better. It might be my own horrible A, honestly. After a while, Cryogen starts, quote, derping out, end quote. I'm assuming that means he's angry, panicking, I don't know. But he starts tracking you and ramming you hard. Luckily, it's pretty easy to dodge. You wait for him to come close, then you fly up and avoid the ram. Do it again from the other side, rinse and repeat. Not a very difficult boss, but it's a very fun boss to fight. It's really up there with my favorites with Mr. Big Sandworm. And then right after he killed Cryogen, the server just decided to disconnect me. That shit happens very frequently, and I'm not sure why, but it's very annoying. Cryogen drops a lot of weapons and a Cryogen Soul that is basically just a fancy name for wings. I didn't think much of the weapons since, again, the Prismaline just beats all of them. However, the weapons are actually materials, a mere fraction of the true Cryogen loot. If you farm Cryogen and manage to get a duplicate of every weapon and an assortment of other materials like Souls of Might and Frigibars, you get to craft the ultimate Kelvin Catalyst. The amount of damage this weapon can dish is disgusting. Ideally, you want to use this weapon on bosses like the Destroyer, but we have repairing to do before we actually did that. I did get to test it out on the Astro Infection, as you can see, it's pretty damn good. We were on the Astro Infection to farm some Stardust so Crab could upgrade his mana. This is another new biome that Calamity adds. Here you can find Astro Ore. It looks like a meteorite, but it's very colorful. It's irrelevant for now because we can't mine it yet, but it will be very important later on. We went ahead and tried fighting the next boss on the boss list, but we made the mistake of spawning it at night and we couldn't see shit, so we both died. We then ran out of spawners. We then traveled to the ocean to get some shark fins to make more spawners, and I started hearing a song that you might find very familiar. Needless to say, that was a fucking mistake. Finally, we traveled back to the Sulphur Sea for our revenge. You know, I find it really funny that when you spawn, a Sea Scourge doesn't actually attack you until you attack it. It's like we were just here to annoy this guy. poor Sea Scourge. Battle ended in a fucking moment, by the way. The Catalyst just ripped this boss apart real fucking quick. You know, there's not much to say about this boss fight. The Scourge just kinda flies around, tracking you and shooting spikes, very much like the Desert Scourge. The main difference here is that, unlike the Desert variant, it can actually fly. That's pretty much it. Our next objective was the Brimstone Elemental, lovingly nicknamed Brimmy by the community. Brimmy is not fought in hell exactly, but a specific biome of hell called the Brimstone Crag. Here we can find some annoying enemies and also charred ore. Can't quite mine it yet though, so we don't have to worry about it, but it will come in handy later on. While we were here, we also farmed some monsters to get S's on Chaos. It's one of the spawner components. The arena was built and we were ready for the challenge. Crab teleported back home to actually craft the spawner, came back and spawned Brimmy so we could fight it. Brimmy is an interesting fight. She flies around the crag, occasionally going invisible and teleporting. She also makes brimstone fall from the ceiling and leaves some crap behind to make it harder to dodge. A lot of bosses do that now that I think about it. Brimmy has this move where she gets inside of like a cocoon and gets a massive increase in armor. The strat here is you just stop attacking because all the damage will just be mitigated and just focus on dodging the high speed projectile she lets out. She also constantly shoots in a circle, so you can't quite circle around her, forcing you to fly very carefully and keep your distance. Brimmy also has this little guy following her that occasionally shoots brimstone at you. When you defeat her, you get a status message that says a blood-red inferno lingers in the night. At first I thought it had something to do with the blood moon, but no, it actually means that we can challenge the main antagonist of the mod, Calamity. Not yet. We still have to fight the mechanical bosses, the ones you might have noticed that we fought none of. That is because in Calamity, these three bosses that we just fought, Cryogen, Aquatic Scourge, and Brimstone Elemental, all drop their respective mech bosses' souls. Cryogen drops Souls of Might, Aquatic Scourge drops Souls of Sight, and Brimmy drops Souls of Fright. We went ahead and fought the Destroyer. We fought the Twins. And we fought Skeletron Prime. All three of these bosses have two things in common. One is that they really like spamming lasers. And two is that they were all a pain in the ass. For some reason, Spasmatism's flames are also purple instead of green here. I'm not sure what the difference is, but they didn't hit me so I couldn't tell. Destroyer just spams a fuck ton of lasers, that's its main difference. And Skeletron Prime shoots missiles instead of throwing bombs and spawns probes. Oh, you also have to destroy the arms before dealing damage to it, just like regular Skeletron, because this game wasn't hard enough. In between the fights, we actually did some farming and I dropped the Scourge of the Seas from the Aquatic Scourge. It's a nice rogue weapon that leaves behind the poison clouds that the Scourge also does. Now that these guys are out of the way, we can finally challenge the main antagonist of the mod. The fight starts like a regular boss fight. It doesn't even play any specific song, just a regular Terraria boss song. But once she reaches 75% health, she heals everything back to 100 and the background goes completely black. I can't tell if it changes to anything cool because my backgrounds are off due to my computer being absolute trash, so I have to do that so the FPS stays stable. She starts shooting lasers more frequently and lets out brimstone, a lot like Brimmy. When Calamity reaches another health threshold, she spawns one of her brothers. When she spawns her brothers, she gets a massive increase in armor, so you're forced to kill them first. Cataclysm is pretty annoying. He'll stay in your ass shooting brimstone non-stop, so he forces you to run away from it and keep the most distance you can to avoid it. If you're too slow, he can deal some serious damage. I was very lucky to have picked Rogue for this playthrough, because all the Rogue's armor sets reduce enemy aggro on you, so Crab was unfortunately focused both by Calamity and Cataclysm at the same time. The good news is that when he died, Cataclysm was already dead, so I only had to dodge Calamity, which surprisingly isn't very hard. She spawned a shoot of small versions of herself around her, and the Scourge of the Sea wasn't being effective anymore, so I quickly changed my weapon to the Catalyst because it had piercing, and it was a fantastic choice. At that point, Crab was back in action and she had spawned another brother. This one's called Catastrophe, and holy shit, Catastrophe must be the biggest pain in the ass in existence. Unlike his brother, he will constantly charge at you with a very high speed, so you gotta be fucking fast to dodge all of it. Nevertheless, Crab managed to fuck him up anyway, and we're just down to Calamities again. At this point I had like no help, but neither did she. And just as we were about to win, Calamity spawned both of her brothers at the same time. And all of them were aggroed on me because Crab was too far away. The game then decided to lag at this very moment and Cataclysm fucked me up. And then Catastrophe fought Crab. We weren't ready to give up yet, so we tried again. I kept trying to use the Scourge Disease for some reason, even though now that I'm watching the footage again, it really wasn't working as well as the Catalyst. I really don't know why I kept insisting in using this, but I did. Once again, we've reached the stage where she spawns both brothers, and once again, it fucked us. At that point, I had to recollect myself and accept that I just wasn't ready for it yet. So I went farming for items, trying to power myself up by crafting the Dayfic Amulet. It increases the immunity time after being struck, reduces potion cooldown, and increases armor penetration by 10. While farming, I also spawned a Leviathan on several occasions, either by accident or on purpose. We just fuck around and the game really didn't like that. Oh, it's so buggy, what the fuck. Because of this not despawning bug, we actually managed to kill Leviathan, but it dropped no loot at all, probably because it was very bugged. It's not like we deserved it anyway. We planted our seeds so we could make more potions. I farmed pixie dust to make fairy wings for that 80 HP boost. We truly proved that we were ready. Me and Crab tested our might against each other. I had emerged victorious. At that point I actually had to go to sleep because it was pretty late. The Crab wasn't ready to give up just yet, so he proposed we tried one more time. We failed. We tried the very next day though, and we emerged victorious. Sure, I was dead and Crab had to carry, but hey, we did it, right? So, it's a victory in my book. So is that the end? You defeated Calamitous, Lumpkin. Wasn't that the main antagonist of mod? Of course not. That was in fact a mere doppelganger. It wasn't actually the real Calamitous. The real Calamitous is still very far away into the journey. So buckle up, cause it's gonna be a real long ride. And with that, we end this chapter of the journey. Thank you very much for watching, but don't go yet, cause I still have some things I want to talk about before we go. Recently, we've reached the milestone of 9,000 subscribers. I'm really happy about it, and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for coming in and enjoying my shit, and I hope you keep enjoying it. There's also 2019, Ace, also known as Simplified. He actually made a best of Lumpkin 2019. You should go check that out. It's on his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. There's also a link in the community tab. I posted it over there if you want to watch it. It's really good, and it just basically sums up everything I did in 2019. Another announcement I'd like to make is that I'm actually doing a Q&A video. So if you would like, there's a few ways you can send your questions to me. One, you can comment down below. I read every comment, and I will take all these questions and I will compile them and answer them all in a video. You can also go to my Discord server and you can ask me there. I think that would kind of defeat the purpose, because if you ask me on the Discord server, I will very likely just answer you immediately. But maybe I'll make a channel and just like have a bunch of questions, and I don't know. But I'll find a way. I will find a way. And last but not least, thank you for all my Patreons. I really appreciate it. They've been of massive help to me and this channel. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. Goodbye. Have a nice day.